Alrighty, so hello again, still at Pulling Park. Um, I just wanted to round things out a bit. Once again, one reason that they in some instances they do feel that they can't avoid it, right? Once again, they brought up something that you can't deny. This Indian territory, which will be Oklahoma, I believe, in 1907. This Indian territory that they're in borders Missouri, it borders Arkansas, and it borders Texas. Now, Missouri is a neutral state in all of this. Now, I do understand that you do see flags that have 13 stars on them at times, and that one of those stars is oftentimes given to Missouri and the other one's given to Kentucky. Missouri doesn't leave. Now, Governor Jackson's doing his doggonest to get them to leave, but he doesn't leave. So, But Arkansas is gone, and so is Texas. Matter of fact, Texas is among the first wave, right? Those first 7, if you will, states. Texas is among those. So obviously there's this issue, right? Obviously there's an issue of people coming through their territory. And now they're trying to figure out, who, I guess if anyone's going to come through our territory, I guess if we have to take up arms, maybe we should take up arms with people who are our neighbors. Now, this is in spite, if you will. And of course, they bring this up, right? In spite of some of the differences that they've had. Oh my goodness, they've had differences, right? I mean, the fact that the Cherokee Nation is in Indian territory and not in Georgia gives you some idea, right? They worked out a deal for North Carolina, but the fact that they're that they had to move should give you a pretty good idea that they've had differences. But they figure that maybe, if you'll forgive my language, that maybe the southern states are lesser of a devil, and that they were warned about several things that the northerners would do. Now, another thing that you saw in there, now it was small, but I have a feeling it's a little bigger than what they're letting on here, that the Cherokee Nation, probably all 5 really, but when I think about it, especially the Cherokee Nation, the Choctaw and Chickasaw Nation, are slave-holding tribes. Now, another thing to keep in mind here is that, slavery had been something that had been a part of a number of these Native American communities for generations, and even before first contact. Before, the Native Americans or indigenous people had ever met, if you will, the Europeans. So, certainly something to keep in mind. But with that being said, these 5 civilized tribes are somewhat depending, maybe not as heavily as the southern states, but are, dependent to some degree, more or less, on, as they brought it up, African servitude. They do know that the reason why these southern states are leaving is because of slavery. And they too know themselves that it might be an issue if they don't, if they don't nip it in the bud right now. That they know that the destiny of their slaves depends on this war. Now, truth be told, the Cherokee, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they may well have, ended their dependence on slavery during the war, whereas you had groups like the Choctaw and the Chickasaw that I believe ended in 1866. So actually, after Juneteenth. So actually, Juneteenth is not the last period. It's not, June 19th, 1865 is not the last day that slaves, that slavery will be so-called legal, or the day that all the slaves are free. Well, no, no, no. That happens a little later into 1866, and this is not including, if you will, Native Americans, owning other Native Americans, some of which this stuff was happening, if you will, in 1869. Another thing to consider are several books, and one of them I had on me. I don't know where that book went. But one book that I actually reviewed was by a woman by the name of Barbara Krauthammer. And it is called Black Slaves, Indian Masters. And it's talking about slavery within the Choctaw and Chickasaw communities. There was another book that I wanted to show for you all, but I don't have it with me right now. But at any rate, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you're watching this, there's a good chance that the only person that will watch this is the person that's recording it. But if you were watching this, I hope it proved helpful for you. Hey, take care now, and y'all have a wonderful day. Y'all, you, or whatever. Have a wonderful day. It's Friday here, and so ready to hit up the weekend. Take care, and bye-bye.